Welcome back to M's TV here on BradentonMarauders.com as the Pirates get set to take on the Rays here on a beautiful Monday afternoon. And a special guest joining us here at McKechnie Field, it's Keith Olbermann. And I know for all your punditry lately, you're actually well known as a sports personality in the media business.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your love for baseball and how far back that goes.
Well, let's see, this is my 45th season. So I'm not quite Don Zimmer or anybody like that, but I'm getting to that category. We're just sitting here commiserating about how old we feel, because I saw Bryce Harper the other day in Tampa, and he's 18 years old, meaning he was born after I started to work on Sportscenter, which makes him, in my mind, like a 4-year-old kid.
I think I probably was too.
Yes, well, I know. I hear a lot of stories like, yeah, I used to watch you on Sportscenter before I got on the school bus for elementary school in the morning. So, but I've been a baseball fan since 1967. It really sort of caught up with me all at once, and I've never stopped. And it was my business for a while. I hosted the Game of the Week, hosted the World Series, the All-Star Game, first for NBC and then for Fox. And you know, when it's a job, it can be a job. I'm in the best possible position now because it's not my living anymore.
Sure.
And so when I come to a ballpark or spring training for a couple of weeks, as I'm doing now, I'm a fan with a pass and a blog. And there's nothing better than that, because I can just sit here and talk to guys without needing them to tell me anything important. And as you may have heard just before we started here, they wind up telling me more important things anyway, which I then write down and use for my fantasy baseball league success.
It's funny because I tell a lot of our guys.
Brandon Gomes, just remember that name.
Okay.
I talk to a lot of our guys in terms of being young and being in this situation. And is there an awestruck to it when Manny walks by or something like that? Is it almost awestruck at who you are, but seeing these type of guys and just being a fan?
Yes, because look, even when I was working, I remember this distinctly. It was an American League Championship game that I was sort of hosting for Fox, and I was on the field, 5 minutes before the game started. And Jim Bouton, the baseball author and longtime broadcaster before that, pitcher with the Yankees, walked by. He was covering it for one of the New York stations, and he said, "Are you remembering? Are you remembering to tingle? Are you tingling or not? I'm tingling." And the point is that you should be able to maintain that as a fan or as a broadcaster or whatever. And the day you come out to a ballpark and you don't feel that way, then you better think about what it is you're doing wrong, because the game will always provide you with something worth tingling over, no matter what stage of it your fandom is or your work in it or whatever it is. However you're associated with baseball, we're here because it's baseball. And I know that sounds like a redundant tautology, but there's something collective about this. And even if you are quote unquote just a fan, you're part of the family.
We gave you the Marauders hat before we started.
Very nice, and it fits too.
And you knew who they were too.
Well, there's a couple of signs right on the way in. I've been here since about 10.
I was going to give you the credit for it. Are you a minor league baseball fan too? Or is that something that is fun for you to get out and do?
The one advantage to living in near Bristol, Connecticut, and not that it's not a great place if you're trying to raise a family or something like that, and it's probably where you have to live if you're going to work at ESPN, but where I lived, I was 12 minutes away from a stadium that used to be known as the Beehive in New Britain, Connecticut, where first the New Britain Red Sox and then the New Britain Hardware City Rocket Cats played. And it was, a great place to go, and just a great fun time. And even in New York, where I live, everybody saw you got the Mets and the Yankees, and I'm a Yankee season ticket holder, and my seats are in the front row. I'm just to the left of the plate, and 45 years of being a fan, I finally worked up to the front row. But we also have two minor league teams in New York that I make a point of going to see every year, the Brooklyn Cyclones and the Staten Island Yankees. And those games are sometimes, not only are the games as impressive and as enjoyable, but the whole experience it makes you think of what it was like to go to a major league game in 1900, as spring training does. There's something spectacular about the minor league experience, because it provides what spring training does for these fans now on a year-round basis. You get to really know these guys, and there's no real sociological difference. The players will eventually, the good ones will eventually make millions of dollars. The rest of them are, hoping to get 20,000 this year. I mean, and that levels things in a way we can't really appreciate these days in sports anywhere. The minor leagues are being, since they're unique in sports, there are no football minor leagues per se. There are no, there are hockey minor leagues, league, so you get a little of that. But basketball minor league, they don't even call it that. It's the development league. There's no pretext that there's anything going on that you as a fan in Bradenton can take pride in. It's like, oh, you're just developing basketball players. This is Bradenton's team, you know, and it means something. It may not mean something to a million people, but it means enough to the people who come out all summer.
Keith Olbermann stopping by here at McKechnie Field. Glad to have you.
Thank you for the hat.
We'll talk about Brendan Gomes.
Yes.